King Charles didn't expect the world to find out this way, but after a sudden medical complication forced him into hospital observation, the calm, carefully controlled royal narrative has been shaken in a way the palace can no longer hide. For a few hours, the monarch, who has tried so hard to appear strong, stable, and unshaken by treatment, was instead behind hospital doors, facing side effects serious enough to postpone every engagement on his schedule. And the moment that news broke, the question everyone had been whispering suddenly erupted out loud. Is the king's condition getting harder to manage than the palace is letting on? The palace insists this was temporary, a minor setback, nothing more. But the wording of their statement made even seasoned royal watchers uneasy, because when Buckingham Palace publicly admits to side effects and cancels the king's next-day diary as a precaution, it signals vulnerability, something the monarchy almost never allows the public to see. And that's why this moment felt different. For months, Charles has pushed through treatment with the familiar stubbornness he inherited from his late mother. He smiled through photo calls, held meetings, waved to crowds, and insisted on maintaining a steady rhythm of royal work. Even when he looked tired, he kept going. Even when doctors reportedly advised caution, he kept going. And lately, some observers wondered whether this constant effort to project strength was beginning to take its toll. Because for a man who spent decades preparing for this role, slowing down has never been an option until today, when it became unavoidable. As soon as the palace confirmed the king had returned to Clarence House, attention shifted to the senior royals around him and the unspoken pressure building behind palace walls. Prince William, already carrying more weight than ever while supporting Catherine through her recovery, now finds himself one step closer to responsibilities his father has fought to shoulder alone. Insiders say he's committed, ready, and protective, but the strain is real. And then there's Harry, the son who left, the son who still loves his father, but whose absence hangs over moments like this with a cold silence. Each time the king suffers a setback, even a temporary one, the same question rises: would Harry come home if things worsen? Sources suggest there have been no new plans, no sudden calls, no confirmed discussions, just uncertainty. Meanwhile, concern across social media was immediate and intense. People weren't just worried, they were scared. Not because the palace hinted at tragedy, but because the tone of the statement felt unusually raw. When the king sends his apologies to those disappointed by cancellations, that's not typical palace formality. It's personal, emotional, almost heartbreaking. And that kind of language appears only when the palace wants the public to feel something: compassion, patience, perhaps preparation. Still, the biggest question remains: what exactly caused the side effects? The palace didn't say. They never do. And while reports suggest the issue was minor, the fact it required hospital observation sends imaginations spiraling. Exhaustion? A reaction to treatment? A sudden dip in strength? Nothing is confirmed, and speculation remains speculation. But the lack of clarity creates the very uncertainty the palace tries so hard to avoid. This is where deeper royal strategy becomes visible. For generations, the monarchy has revealed only what is absolutely necessary, especially regarding health. Silence is tradition, but controlled silence is strategy, a way to protect the institution when its central figure becomes fragile. And this latest statement, careful yet apologetic, suggests the palace may be preparing the public for more unpredictable moments ahead. Because a monarch's schedule isn't just appointments, it's structure, stability, symbolism. Each postponed engagement sends a quiet ripple through the nation, reminding everyone that illness respects neither rank nor crown. If Charles needs more rest, the entire system shifts around him. And that leads to the question no one wants to ask aloud, but everyone feels tightening in the air. Is this the beginning of a period where the king's visibility sharply decreases? No one knows. Nothing is confirmed. But today's events show that even with the best medical care, optimism, and strength, the king is still a man in treatment fighting a private battle while the world watches. And maybe that's what makes this moment so emotional. Because for all the grandeur of the monarchy, this small glimpse of vulnerability made the king feel more human than ever. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain, the nation will be watching closely, hoping this was only a brief pause and not the start of a much longer silence. If you want deeper breakdowns of the family dynamics surrounding the king's recovery, or the rising pressure on Prince William as this unfolds, subscribe because the story behind those palace gates is far from over.